everybody, my name is Tommy, and today I'm going to talk about the buffalo. So what is a buffalo? Well, a buffalo is like an animal with a quarter moon shaped horn. It's kind of like the bison, but the bison's face is just like a circle, but its face is like this. You see, it's so much different. And although it is just like the bison, but it doesn't have much fur. That's why we call it the buffalo. Now, do you know about anything about the buffalo? Well, it starts with, the first word starts with N, the second word starts with A, the third word starts with O, and the fourth word starts with V. Do you know what it is? Well, the buffalo is the national animal of Vietnam, and the bison is the national animal of America. Kind of the same. Those animals are pretty like the same. Even though the buffalo's horn is like this and the bison's horn is like this. There. So, you see, the buffalo's horn is not as the same as the bison's horn. Actually, I'm drawing the full size of the bison's horn. It's about this, up to this, curve up to this, down to this. There, that's the real size of its horn. But actually, this type of animal with horns is a buffalo. So what is a buffalo? A buffalo is an animal with two crescent moon shaped horns. Now, do you know what it mainly does? Well, it hunts out for enemies. For example, lions. Lion, first is buffalo. Bye, lion. So you see, a buffalo always hunts out for enemies. B starts with buffalo. Now, you see, a buffalo is pretty much the same as a bison. But the bison has lots of fur, but the buffalo only has little fur. And you see, what work does it do? Well, it pulls carts. And it also makes this line and these lines on the grass. The lines that the buffaloes dig their heads in, and then they just start pulling and pulling and pulling to make that giant line. So you see, buffaloes work a lot. That's why a buffalo works a lot. It works a lot because a lot of farmers raise buffaloes. Do you know why? Because they thought that buffaloes would be strong and it would help them to pull heavy things. just like a bison would do. But bison are hard to control, more hard to control than a buffalo. So that's why not a lot of people usually raise bison as their pets. Some people raise bison as their food, or maybe because they just want some meat, or maybe they just raise the bison for meat. So that's why some people raise bison. But the common thing that we do with buffaloes is to raise them and to teach them how to pull cattle. So, what else does it do when it's in the field? Well, sometimes it mates, but sometimes it just fights. How does it fight? Well, it sometimes fights for control. It doesn't fight to show strength, but the bison fights to show strength, but the buffalo fights not only to show strength, but also to have control of their body. That's one answer of why do buffaloes usually fight. But what if only buffaloes lay in the water? Well, what do they do in the water? Do they cool off in the water? Most likely, but actually, buffaloes put a layer of mud onto their bodies in the mud, so it will protect them from insects. After bath time's over, then the birds will come and accompany them. In exchange for the ride that the buffalo has given to the bird helps the bison clean off ticks and bugs on its back, enjoying a meal and doing some work. That's one way birds can enjoy a meal and do some work. So, now, look at this. You see, what does this buffalo do? Well, this buffalo is helping a farmer pull a cart of hay. You see, this buffalo is just a baby buffalo. You see, it's brown and it doesn't have horns. But you see, calves, which are called buffalo babies, don't have any horns. But calves, which are bison babies, do have horns. Now can you see? What I'm showing you on the whiteboard, you see. Calves of the bison usually have horns, but calves of a buffalo don't really have horns. So you see, bison and buffaloes have different kind of calves, but when they're grown up, they're just the same. They have horns, fur, they have snouts, they have flat teeth, they have long tongues, sticky tongues, and they have everything, long necks. But one way they are different from one another when they're adults is that an American bison has a hump on its shoulder, and a European bison has a small hump. But the buffalo doesn't have any hump. Well, it has a hump on its butt, on its back, but that isn't really called a hump. It just stays in it and then eats the grass. Where does it live? Well, mainly it lives in the field. What does it do in the field? Well, in the field, it actually walks and eats. Sometimes in the morning, early in the morning, 1 or 2 o'clock, they just go out and then take a bath. After taking a bath, they will go and just run a little bit, and then at noon, they will sleep under the shade. Then at night, they will wake up and continue their sleeping. And after one day, they just started over again. Grass, water, water, grass, sleep in the middle. So sleep in between. So you see that is a pretty good pattern of how does it sleep, how does it stays awake. Now, do you know how much does a buffalo cost? I don't know either. You can check on the email if you want. This is a pretty hard question, but some buffaloes only cost $10 or $20 in Vietnam, but in America they cost thousands of dollars. But actually it's less money than America. So you see, $1,000 is equal to a lot of Vietnamese. $1,000 is equal to a lot of Vietnamese money, paper money. But if you exchange with some coins or maybe just a credit card, it will be much faster. So you see, if you have this piece of paper, like this is one buffalo, and you want to make them red and white, you just tear them off. Tear. Tear. So you see, you can buy a lot of buffaloes in America, but buffaloes are more common in Vietnam. Do you know why? Because buffaloes are the national animal of where I live, Vietnam. So you see, the buffalo is actually the most common animal in Vietnam, but it's not really common in America. In America, the most common animal is the bison, which in Vietnam doesn't have in common. In Vietnam, we only have the buffalo, that is the animal with the horn. But we still have cows, just like that. Or we have sheep, goats. Some of the domesticated animals have horns, like sheep. Or maybe goats, cows, or even monsters. But they're just not domesticated animals. So that's why they're not related to America. But in Vietnam, there are lots of animals with horns. And in America, there are also lots of animals with horns. Actually, there's one thing that some animals with horns in America and in Vietnam are alike. In America, there are sheep, goats, and cows, which have horns. And in Vietnam, there are also sheep, goats, and cows. So you see, all of them have horns. Even if you go to a countryside in America, you see those animals. If you go to a countryside in Vietnam, you still see your animal. But maybe my grandfather is too old to have to throw away or maybe sell his animals. So you see, maybe when you grow up, you can just do farming and be a farmer. Or you can be a designer and design your own building and design your own farm. So you can just raise some bison. If you don't want, then you may cut down some trees and then make a tree house for yourself. But tree houses are not only on trees. Tree houses mean the houses that are made out of trees, not houses that are on trees. Because sometimes when people get some wood and people cut them, and that is the wood from a tree, and when they finish the house, they call it the tree house. and they put a statue of a monster in front of it that will scare other people away. Now, what about this? What if a buffalo swims to the deepest part of the ocean? Will it be able to survive? No. When it swims to the deepest part of the ocean, it cannot survive. It can only swim to the medium part of the ocean, not to the deepest part of the ocean, which is the Atlantic Ocean, and the Pacific. That would be too deep, even deeper than Buddha that is put down there. So you see, people sometimes are pretty big a long time ago. Egyptians are huge a long time ago. They're huge, reaching the ceiling of this house. So you see, long time ago, Egyptians were pretty tall. But we are also taller, long time ago. But now we are shorter than Egyptians. Egyptians now eat lots of things. Now I guess Egyptians still exist. But now actually Egyptians nowadays don't have some angry monster face, but actually Egyptians only wear those masks. They don't have their similar heads in the films that you usually see, like Kung Fu Panda. Well, Egyptians don't have those types of faces. They only have masks like that in Egypt. But in Egypt, the most popular person in Egypt is like the person in the story of Aladdin in the magical lamp. His uncle lives in Egypt, but he lives in South Egypt. So that's why his uncle has to cross through 10 big islands to go to his land. Pretty much work. Now, I'll tell you one thing. Do you know anything about buffaloes today? Well, you know a lot about buffaloes. Buffaloes are the national animal of Vietnam. They're not very common in America. They're common in Vietnam. And we even have books about them. A lion versus a buffalo. A cheetah versus a leopard. A tiger versus a lion versus Godzilla, or maybe other monsters. Well, did you know that buffaloes usually actually appear human in movies? Well, it is. Some rhinos in realistic movies are actually humans. The rhinoceros. It has 2 hands, 2 legs, a big body. So you see, there are many types of animals in Vietnam, right? Many animals with horns, many animals that don't have horns. So you see, Vietnam is pretty popular about all the animals that it has. So that's why Vietnam is popular for all of you. All of you, you see, live in Vietnam. I live in Vietnam, you live in Vietnam, everyone lives in Vietnam. And even some people in America live in Vietnam. Me, 2 days ago, when I went to some kind of store, I saw foreign people who talked in full English. I can talk in full English, they can talk in full English. That's why I call them foreign people, because they're tall, taller than my dad, taller than my mom, and they buy Christmas things, even though it's not Christmas yet. Christmas is December 24th to December 25th. Now it's only maybe November, and the day I don't know, but maybe it is really November today. It's November. And next month it will be December. on December 25th, you can't just sit there and wait for your parents to give you a prize. You can just write a letter to Santa telling him something that you want, like a video game, some papers, or maybe couch, or a toy, a robot, Lego, or maybe a bookcase, some books, Journey to the West books, a TV, a plant, maybe a sketchbook, colors, a whiteboard, or even books about fighting and even politics, and even CDs. You can even tell Santa to bring you that, and you can even tell Santa to bring you some fruit. But what you do like best is telling Santa to bring you some toys and Lego, right? Well, a tank is one of the most strongest of those. So you can just write, "Hi Santa, I need a toy." And then he'll just buy a toy and then bring it to us. We need to tell which kind of toy we want from Santa as well, because he doesn't know which toy we want. So he'll just choose literally, and then we have the baby toy instead of a grown-up toy. You can ask for a phone if you want, or an iPad, a tablet, a tabloid, or maybe a book, a sketchbook, anything that you want. Santa will bring it to you. Now, what about this? You see. Now, let's review about the buffalo. Now, the buffalo, its food is grass and mainly weeds, and it can drink 30 liters of water a day. And what does it work for the farmer? It pulls carts. And it pulls carts, and it also plows the field for the farmer, but the farmer has to run after that. And where does it live? In the field. In the field. Here's a path, and here's the grass for it to eat. This is like a normal field for a farm, but some people kept mowing and mowing and mow. They keep mowing and mowing the grass. So that's why there's nothing left until this day, when people plant a lot of trees and do not make any more pollution. Now, do you know one fact about the buffalo that all of these combined with in Vietnam? And the national animal of what? What is the national animal of Vietnam? Well, the national animal of Vietnam is the animal that we're learning about today, the buffalo. The buffalo is the national and most common animal in Vietnam. It's pretty common in Vietnam, right? It's pretty common because it lives in Vietnam a long time ago. It plays in Vietnam. It eats in Vietnam. It runs in Vietnam. It lives in Vietnam for 1,000 years ago. But in America, they don't live there. Only bison live in America. They're pretty common in America and Vietnam. Other animals have other continents and countries have their own national animal too. Like the North America's national animal is actually the bison. The South America's national animal is the horse and the lion. So you can learn everything that you learn by just looking at a map and see what animals are there on each continent, what animals are there on each country. And I'll tell you a hint. What is the national animal of Turkey? Turkey. Turkey is a type of country, and its national animal is still a turkey. Because its name is Turkey. A turkey is famous for its speed, so that's why it is also one of the national animals of Earth. So I hope you liked today's animal episode, all facts about animals, and see you next time. And make sure to like and subscribe me more at Learning About Animals with Horns with Tommy. So bye.